Test.
Mine's working.
Mm-hmm. I think they're working now. Thank you.
Ready to roll.
Mm-hmm. Test. Yep.
Okay, we'll call this hearing to order. This is a hearing of the special magistrate in charge of code enforcement for the city of Newberry, Florida. It is 1:07 p.m. And if you would first, everybody stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Okay, I am Norm Fugit. I am the special magistrate for the city of Newberry. We are here today to consider code enforcement cases as are being brought by the code enforcement officer of the city. I will take, we have 4 cases on the docket today. I will take these cases one by one. I will hear testimony, I will receive evidence, and I will make such findings of fact are supported by the testimony and evidence pertaining to each of these cases. That testimony will come from the code enforcement officer of the city, and any respondents or landowners or other persons that are here to respond to the case, will be giving the opportunity to present testimony and evidence also. So with that, do we have any remarks of the staff or city attorney at this time?
No, sir. No, sir.
Then we will move into hearing the cases. And so what I want to do at this point is that anyone that is present today that intends to give any testimony, I would ask that you be sworn in by our secretary. Okay, Mr. Code Enforcement Officer, do you have any preference for the order that I take these cases?
Yes, Your Honor. This is going to be, the first case is going to be 2023-003. It's going to be the City of Newberry versus Mr. Virgil Jackson, since he is the only one present here at the time.
Okay, and that is which one?
2023-03.
03.
Third on the agenda.
Trying to find it in here, so. Okay, so we're moving out of order here into the case number 2023-003, violation number 2022-10-005. This is the City of Newberry versus Virgil Jackson.
All right, we're just going to move the slides up to his case.
Whenever you're ready to proceed.
All right, I am Wayne Clark, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Newberry, Florida, and I have been sworn. My credentials are on file with the Special Magistrate Secretary. In the Special Magistrate case, SM 2023-003, the respondent is Mr. Virgil Jackson. The photographs being presented into evidence accurately represent the violations as seen and were taken by myself on the dates indicated on each photograph. So on the 27th day of September 2022, the City of Newberry Office of Code Enforcement received a complaint and responded to the location, which is 25142 Northwest 2nd Ave here in Newberry, Florida. And I observed hazardous lands, numerous abandoned and wrecked non-operating vehicles without license plates, parking of trucks, like semi-trucks, and minimal housing regulations for sanitary conditions at the property. The property was inspected by myself on the 27th day of September 2022 and was found to be in the corporate limits of the City of Newberry, Florida, and in violation of City of Newberry Code of Ordinances, sections, Chapter 14, Building and Building Regulations, 14.334, creating, keeping, maintaining, allowing the existence of dangerous buildings or hazardous lands unlawful. Appendix B, Land Development Regulations, Article 4, Zoning Regulations, Section 4.2, Supplementary District Regulations, 4.2.17, Parking and Storage of Certain Vehicles. Appendix B, Land Development Regulations, Article 9, Minimum Housing Regulations, Section 9.24, Sanitation Requirements, and Section 9.24.4, Care of Premises. And then Chapter 94, Traffic and Vehicles, Article 5, Abandoned Vehicles, Section 9463, Observance Required and Exceptions, Section 94-122, Prohibited, and Section 94-124, Wrecked or Non-Operating Vehicles on Private Property. This property is zoned residential single-family RSF2 and is approximately 0.23 acres in size. It is not homesteaded. The notice of violation was posted to the property and mailed certified mail to the owner as recorded in the tax collector's or property appraiser's office and to any other additional responsible parties as the code allows. Legal service of the notice of violation was achieved on November 21st, 2022 by posting of the property and the City of Newberry City Hall, and December 1st, 2022 by USPS certified mail. In that notice of violation, the respondents were given 30 days from receipt of the notice. So December 21st, 2022 was 30 days to correct the violations. As a result of my inspection on March 22nd, 2023, which was today, I recommended finding it guilty for the respondents for sections as I previously stated. They'd be given no additional time to comply. Sorry, actually I'm gonna 30 days additional time to comply or a fine of $50 a day per violation until compliance is achieved, and that we recover the prosecution cost of $120. And then up on the screen, I have the pictures from my inspections.
Okay.
So this is Mr. Jackson's property, outlined in blue. Several of the vehicles, all three of these vehicles had no license plates on them and were in some sort of wrecked or non-operating condition, flat tires, missing parts, or otherwise damaged. No license plate on the back of this truck, flat tires. The back of the truck was accumulation of junk. There's a couple jet skis on the property. That was a Honda Accord that can be seen in other pictures when the grass is cut down, and then the semi-truck. The Honda Accord had no license plate on it as well. I did run the registration numbers found on these jet skis, and they were not current or valid or registered to Mr. Jackson when I ran them at the tax collector's office. Picture of the posting. Additional pictures of the vehicles on additional days. Motorcycle. I don't know if there's a license plate on this, however, it was wrecked. Pieces were missing and the front tire was flat during the pictures. That was the posting for the hearing. And then pictures from today showing that, so a couple things from today was the semi-truck. Well, the semi-truck was removed. I'm not sure exactly, let's see if I can go back. I don't know exactly what day it was removed, but November 21st, it wasn't there. So between the day of posting and November 21st, it was removed from the property. I believe the Honda in the pictures is the vehicle Mr. Jackson is driving today, parked outside, which does have a license plate on it. However, the additional vehicles, as of today, did not have license plates on them. And the green truck, as of today, with the storage of miscellaneous car parts and other junk, was removed from the property recently as well. So he has removed a couple things, but is not in full compliance. One of the sections that he is in compliance with is the parking of trucks, which is going to be I believe it's going to be 4.2.17, parking and storage of certain vehicles. So either way, that violation was cured by the removal of the semi-truck. However, he is still in violation with all the other codes.
The truck, are you ready for me to ask some questions? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you mentioned the truck, the removal of the truck solved.
Oh, sorry, the removal of
94-63.
63,
right?
correct. I'm sorry,
Okay.
that's my mistake.
So we're not, you're not observing anything that implicates 94-63?
No.
Okay, so how many, with the partial compliance that has occurred, can you tell me how many inoperable vehicles remain on the property?
As of today, you have the white BMW, the red Ford Mustang, so that's 2, and then 2 wave runners, jet skis, however you want to classify those. And there was a tag on the back of the trailer with one of the wave runners. However, I was not able to read that tag due to the high grass, which is also part of the hazardous lands conditions.
So do both of those jet skis have trailers?
Well, one is on the trailer. The second one there, I believe, is just sitting on the ground. But Mr. Jackson is here, and he can testify to that if he wishes. But when I ran the vessel numbers on the side of the wave runners, before I sent out the notice of violation, they were not currently registered.
So other than the actual items of personal property, the vehicles and the jet skis and the trailer, are you wanting to proceed with any other alleged violations regarding the property?
No, sir.
Condition of the property, anything like that?
The condition of the property is part of the section, Article 9, minimum housing regulations, and then the Chapter 14 hazardous lands.
So other than the items on the property, you're asking me to find violation relating to the condition of the property?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Could you go back to, at the very first, I think you had a copy of the property appraisers page?
That was just our GIS mapping system.
That's what I want to say,
Okay.
yes.
And just as a note, that's not, we do pull the data from the Alachua County Property Appraiser's Office. However, that is maintained by the Alachua County Growth Management Office.
So I just want to make sure some of the pictures were of stuff that's back in the back of the property rather than up around the house.
Correct. Yes, the jet skis were on the property. The green truck that was removed was sitting on the border of the two properties. The adjacent property to the left is also part of an heirs property that Mr. Jackson is a part of as well, and he can correct that if.
Okay. So, but you're telling me that everything you took pictures of there are within the boundaries?
Of his property, yes.
Yes, okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Sir, do you wish to give any testimony?
You don't see it all, but like I told him, shoot, I ain't had the money to fix it.
Excuse me?
So I didn't have the money to fix it, so I got the money up to fix it. So the truck was my business. The truck was really to my business. My business is my address. So I didn't have no place to park it till now. But like I say, I got another truck. So if they're stealing it, jet ski.
Are you using, let's talk about the truck first. Are you using the truck on a regular basis?
Not now. The truck ain't even there. So, no, I sold it.
But I think you said you had another truck.
Yeah, I'm using it. So I had to sell my truck to my brother. So that's how I moved that. The green truck, they were sitting there, sure. The green truck, I didn't have to, couldn't find
There's
them.
no truck on the property?
Huh?
There's no truck on the property right now?
Ain't no trucks on the
Okay,
property.
all right, all right.
Ain't no trucks on the property. Jet ski, it did have a license plate on it when it was, but like I said, you know, it's there. But like I said, stuff I didn't know, but you know. But then the Mustang, I had a guy supposed to come by and buy it, but he didn't buy it. So I had 2 or 3 guys gonna come by and buy it. I'm waiting on them to come back to buy it. They ain't want to buy it, so.
Okay, so you're not contesting that these vehicles are on the property?
No, I'm not gonna test it, but you know, like I said, I'm trying to move it, and I'm moving them.
Do you understand what the code enforcement officer is asking?
Yeah.
Is asking for my order to say?
Yes,
You understand that he's asking me to order that the rest of these vehicles be moved and the property be cleaned up within 30 days?
yes.
Is that reasonable?
Oh, I tell you what,
Is that reasonable for you to get it done within that period of time?
I'll definitely ask you, can you give me 60 days to get the cleanup? 60 days, everything.
Address that to me.
All right, I'll make you go. Give me 60 days, I have everything cleaned up.
You understand that the consequence of not having it fully cleaned up within whatever period of time I decide is that a $50 a day fine will start at that time?
Yes, I understand. Like I told him, I'm not mad with him for doing his job. You know, like I said, you know what? All the stuff on there ain't mine.
But it is your property, correct? You own
Yeah,
the property,
yeah.
correct? Okay. Anything else?
No, I ain't have to.
Okay, right. Then, based on the evidence, well, first of all, I need to state that the owner of the property, Mr. Jackson, is present today.
Yes.
And did testify as to the condition of the property. The code enforcement officer asked for asked for me to order that the property be cleaned in 30 days. Mr. Jackson has requested that I allow 60 days for the property to be cleaned. And I am going to do that. I'm going to give you 60 days. So the order will be that the property is in violation of the cited sections. I'm not going to list those in my verbal order, but they'll be contained in my written order. And I will find the violation. I will order the order that the owner has 60 days to cure the violations. And if that's not done in 60 days, then on the 61st day, a $50 a day fine will commence.
Yes.
If it's necessary to bring this back to determine compliance and to determine a possible fine, then I'll hold jurisdiction to be able to do that. The 60 days will will run from the day that I sign the order, and you will receive a copy of that order. You might not receive it the same day, but you'll be able to see when I signed it, and that's when the 60 days will trigger.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
Any other comments?
Yeah, Mr. Magistrate, so I did ask for $50 a day per violation. So I just want to clarify that to make sure, are you ordering $50 a day per violation or $50 total just?
So how many violations do we have here? Thinking we have 2 vehicles. I'm thinking we have 2 jet skis and a trailer that sits on one.
It'd be 4 total.
4 total. No, okay. So I'm also going to include in the order that the property, the condition of the property, so it needs to be mowed or cleaned up, but I'm not going to include that. So I am going to order that the fine would be $50 per violation. So for 1 car, for a second car, and for 2 jet skis, that's 4. It'll be $50 for each of those items. You've indicated that you can get that done in 60 days, so if you do, then the fine will not matter if you've got it clean within that period of time. So yes, for clarification, I will order that be $50 per day per item that's not taken care of by the 60 days.
Magistrate Fugate, I just wanted to apprise Mr. Jackson mostly of the fact that, just to make sure he has an understanding that the 60 days runs from the date of your order. And Mr. Clark will go out and inspect the property on the 61st day. And I believe the hearing officer testified that this is non-homestead property, which means you don't have protections. If a fine starts on the 61st day, then it puts me in the position as city attorney to, at some point, have to proceed towards a foreclosure action on that property if it's not cleaned up. So I just want to make sure you have a good understanding that the city's subjective is to get the property in compliance, not to foreclose on the house. So we want to, that 60 days is real important. I just want to make sure Mr. Jackson is aware of that, Mr. Magistrate.
Only thing I got to do is move the car. The place is moved. The place is moved. The property is moved. So only thing I just got to do is move the car.
To be clear, what he's saying is that if you do not do that by the 60th day, then this $50 a day fine will not only be a fine ordering you personally to pay that money, but that fine will also be a lien on the property. So, and so before you did anything with the property in the future, you would have to pay, that would have to be taken care of. And as Mr. Walker has said, if the city commission looked at this, and if there was a fine and it was put on the property, and the city commission desired at a later date, they could direct the city attorney to foreclose that, like a mortgage on the property. Okay. All right, anything further?
No, sir.
So that'll be my ruling on this case, and you'll receive a copy of that order in the next few days.
Yeah, thank you.
This is, your correct address is Mr. Jackson, I just want to confirm your address. What is your mailing address? 6919 Southwest 234th Street?
No.
You don't receive mail there?
No. My address at this is 2514 Southwest 2nd Avenue, Newberry, Florida.
2514 Southwest 2514 Southwest
Second Avenue.
Second Avenue.
2514 to Second Avenue.
Northwest Second Avenue.
No.
25142.
Right.
Northwest Second Avenue.
Right,
Northwest.
32669.
yeah.
The same as the residence.
So the house, that house right there, the pictures, that's where you live? That's where you receive mail?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, very good.
We all ready? Oh, are you going?
That concludes this case, yes.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, Ann, could you step over here in case I need to get? Thank you. Time out again. Okay. Go back to the first one now. Okay, we are calling code case number 2023-001. First to be Ms. Kazi. You can proceed when you're ready.
Mr. Fugate, I'm Wayne Clark, a code enforcement officer for the city of Newberry, Florida, and I've been sworn. My credentials are on file with the Special Magistrate Secretary. In the Special Magistrate case 2023-001, the respondent is Mrs. Sidi Kazi, I believe is how you pronounce it. The photographs being presented in the evidence accurately represent the violation of the scene and were taken by myself on the dates indicated on each photograph. On the fourth day of January 2023, the City of Newberry Office of Code Enforcement observed unsafe buildings, structures, and hazardous lands located at 3709 Southwest State Road 45 in Newberry, Florida 32669. This violation is a irreparable, irreversible violation with unsafe structures. It's unfit for human habitation and poses a serious threat to public health, safety, or welfare, and was condemned by the City of Newberry building official and myself. The property was inspected by myself and the City of Newberry building official on the fourth day of January 2023 and was found to be in the corporate limits of the City of Newberry, Florida, and in violation of the City of Newberry Code of Ordinances as follows. Chapter 14, Building Regulations, Article 6, Section 14-334, creating, keeping, maintaining, allowing the existence of dangerous buildings or hazardous lands unlawful. Chapter 14, Building Regulations, Article 2, Building Code, Division 3, Building Permits, Section 14-101, required. Chapter 14, Building Regulations, Article 2, Building Code, Division 1, generally, Section 1436, Amendments, Section 104.5, Unsafe Buildings or Systems, 104.5.1, Abatement, 104.5.2 Public Nuisances, 104.5.3 Vacant Buildings, and 104.6 Requirements not covered by code. Division 4, Unsafe Buildings, Section 14-131, Removal or Repair, Section 14-133, Court Action to Compel Compliance, and Section 14-134, Authority to order vacation of buildings and closing of places adjacent thereto. The property is zoned commercial intensive and is approximately 4.8 acres in size. It is not homesteaded. The notice of violation was posted to the property and mailed, certified mail to the property owner as recorded in the tax collector's office or property appraiser's office, and to any other additional responsible parties as the code allows. Legal service of the notice of violation was achieved on January 23rd, 2023 by posting to the property and City of Newberry City Hall, along with January 26, 2023 by USPS certified mail to the property owner. In that notice of violation, the respondents were not given any time to correct the violation. As it is irreparable, irreversible violation. As a result of my inspection on March 22nd, 2023, I recommend a finding of guilty for the respondents for the sections I previously mentioned, that they be given no additional time to comply, or a fine of $500 for all violations until compliance is achieved, and that's $500 per day. And further, that the City of Newberry recover the prosecution cost of $120. And I will show you the photographs whenever you're ready.
Okay, go back and would you repeat the recommended time and fine? Looking at the service information.
Yes, so that I'm not asking for any additional time to comply, because of the property, the unsafe structures, it's a hazard, it's a nuisance, and at this point, the building official has deemed it an unsafe structure and has condemned it, and is irreversible, irreparable, based upon the structures and the conditions they are in at this time. So I'm asking for no additional time due to those circumstances, and a fine of $500 a day for all violations until compliance is achieved, and then prosecution costs of $120.
Okay, so when you say $500 a day for all violations, you mean not each violation,
Correct.
for all?
Yep.
Okay, so a flat $500 a day.
$500, yes, sir. And just to note, even though I posted the property and sent the letters by certified mail for both the original notice of violations and the affidavits of the irreparable or reversible conditions, an unsafe structure, the posting of condemnation by the building official, and then that was received by them, like I said, on
I show a USPS tracking that was delivered to an individual on January 26th.
Yep, and
2023.
I've had no contact with them at all.
You have not heard from anybody directly relating
As
to
of
these
right now, I've not heard
violations.
from anybody, related to this property.
And she took title to this 10 years ago. Okay,
And I believe it is, if I look through. And according to the tax records, I believe there are several certificates that have been issued on this property. They have not paid property taxes, it appears, in quite some time either, including this year.
2019 taxes. March 31st of 2022. Somebody knew about it at least. Do you know if the tax collector maintains receipts or copies of checks when taxes are paid?
I do not. That'd be something I'd have to ask. I just by looking at the tax collectors when I was putting together this case, I did view the certificates via the links that are on the tax collector site, but
I guess my thought process is that seems to be the last interaction of these owners or somebody with this property. Anything else?
yes, sir, I'll just go through some of the pictures to show the conditions of. So the history of this is it's an old, I guess, motel. Don't know how many years it goes back, but quite a few years.
Give me just an idea of where this is located in town.
Show this, here's on the map right here. So you can kind of see Champions Ballpark up in the upper left-hand center. That's 30th Avenue, Southwest 30th Avenue and State Road 45.
Going north out of town?
Correct.
South.
Going south out of town, yep. So if you go north, obviously that would run straight into the main downtown, the traffic light at Newberry Road and State Road 45. And the southbound obviously would take you all the way down to the city of Archer, Long Archer Road and the traffic light there. So just south of 30th Avenue on State Road 45. It's the area highlighted in green. Some of the reasons that the building official, along with myself, with unsafe structure, unfit for human habitation, obviously in the condemnation, and the reason it poses a serious threat to public health or safety. All the windows, basically in every single window there is on the property, are broken out with sharp shards of glass on them, glass all over the floors. It's completely open to anybody who wants to make access onto the property. I mean, furniture's absolutely destroyed. Parts of the roof and ceilings are collapsing. You know, the walls are obviously heavily damaged. Other portions of the structures are completely falling apart. Wood is rotting. Obviously, you can see it is apparent there is like a side access to the property that has been maintained, I guess, due to vehicles driving on it. And from the condition and the amount of trash and debris, along with the condition of the trash and debris, shows that people are likely frequently attending or vandalizing this property, trespassing on the property. Some of it appears to be newer, stuff that you'd expect to deteriorate over time, you know, is still fresh. So they are dumping all over the property. I also, back by, that's some fresh trash. That picture on the right-hand side is where vehicles can drive in and basically hide from State Road 45 to avoid being seen by people. Just more pictures. There's numerous rooms. That goes all the way down. Those were the old rooms that I guess you could rent for the motel. And just to show the conditions of each room is basically all the same, just completely destroyed and abandoned.
I've seen enough.
Yeah. In one of the photos I'll get to in a second, pictures of the postings for the hearings. I did not see it for quite some time until I happened to stumble upon it one day. So it is, if you drive slow enough, you can kind of see the old building there. But doing 60 to 70 miles an hour or even faster, depending, State Road 45, you're blowing by it, and there's no way to see it with the vegetation overgrowth. You have to really be looking for it. But if you've been around Newberry long enough, then you would know that it's there. So in the picture on the right-hand side there, that's in one of the sheds, accessory structures that's on the property. A lot of that paperwork and books that are in that shed are textbooks that appear to be from Newberry High School or some other schools, math books, other stuff. So that's part of the reason that we considered it in the condition that we did, because it appears that kids are frequently trespassing on this property and dumping stuff, and due to the condition of the property, I'm amazed that somebody hasn't hurt themselves seriously already. But it's just a matter of time until somebody does.
All right, you say that this is, that the building official has condemned this property,
Yes.
and I'm seeing this notice in my packet here. Is this just a notice of the condemnation, or is this considered to be the actual condemnation document?
So we have the posting, which is this one, which should be in your packet. So that just outlines, this condemned and signed by the building official. And then in the notice of violation itself, along with the affidavit of irreparable, irreversible conditions, that goes into further detail as well.
My question is that when the building official condemns a piece of property, is there a order he signs separate from this notice that I'm looking at?
No, sir.
No.
He did, let me see if he signed my notice of violation. He did sign the actual notice of violation as well, that I gave to the owners on January 23rd. So it has my signature and the building official's signature on it, so.
Well, he's on this notice. I'm just looking for a document I can refer to establish the condemnation, and I'll consider this notice to be sufficient for that, because he did sign that. Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, so I am going to find this in violation of the various code sections cited. I will list those in the written order. I'll impose, beginning the date of my order, I'll impose a $500 a day fine until corrected. I'll do my best to get maybe another address or some way of making sure that that order gets to the owner. So, but I'll do some work on that.
Just to clarify, so I did ask for no additional time given, and just want to make sure that's what is clear in your order. No additional time starting as of today or whatever you decide.
Correct. The order will say that the violation is found and that a fine commences immediately with the signing of my order.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Right. Moving now to case number 2023-002. All right,
so I'm Wayne Clark, a code enforcement officer for the city of Newberry, Florida, and I've been sworn. My credentials are on file with the Special Magistrate Secretary. In Special Magistrate Case 2023-002, the respondent is Jetson Kazi. The photographs being presented as evidence accurately represent the violation of scene and were taken by myself on the dates indicated on each photograph. So on the 4th day of January 2023, the City of Newberry Office of Code Enforcement observed unsafe buildings, structures, and hazardous lands located at 3805 Southwest State Road 45 in Newberry, Florida, 32669. The violation is unsafe structures unfit for human habitation and was condemned by the city building official Scott Thomason, and myself. The property was inspected by myself and the City of Newberry building official on the 4th day of January 2023, and was found to be in the corporate limits of the City of Newberry, Florida, and in violation of City of Newberry Code of Ordinances, Section Chapter 14, Building and Building Regulations, Article 6, Section 14-334, creating, keeping, maintaining.
I have the citations listed here to the
Okay.
code section, so you don't have to,
Okay,
I have those in front of me. So
all right, yes, sir.
this property's, is it adjacent to the one we just dealt with?
It is.
Okay. So,
I don't know the relation between the two, but last name, same exact address,
so show me the evidence of the,
correct? Well, let me, I'll finish with the, I won't go over the code sections, but it is zoned agricultural, 1.25 acres in size. It is also not homesteaded. I achieved certificate of service on January 23rd by posting the property and City of Newberry City Hall. And January 26, 2023, it was received by an individual via certified mail. And I got those addresses as the owner of record is recorded in the tax collector's office or the property appraiser's office. So in the notice violation, I gave them 30 days from receipt of the notice, which would have been February 25th, 2023, to correct the violations. As a result of my inspection today, March 22nd, 2023, I recommend a finding of guilty for the code sections as stated in the notice violation, that they be given no additional time to comply, or a fine of $100 a day for all the violations until compliance is achieved, and that we recover $120 prosecution costs.
$100 per day?
$120.
But 100 per day is what you're.
Oh, sorry, yes,
$100.
$100 per day for all the violations, and then prosecution cost of $120. And so the photograph, so like I said, adjacent to the property that we just discussed, 2023-01. And I happened to stumble upon this while I was out looking at the property next door. This is actually set back further off the road from the abandoned motel. However, when I was taking pictures of the motel, I looked across the field there, and you can see this mobile home. So all the windows are broken out in this mobile home as well. It is completely unsecured. The doors are open. Some of it is damaged inside. Those are the last registration dates affixed to the mobile home. So 2005, I think, is the last one there in blue. Pictures of the postings for the condemnation notice, notice of violation, and the notice of hearing. And then that was a photograph of today showing that no changes have been made. All conditions still exist. And like the other case that I spoke to previously, no contact was made at all with the property owner of record or any other additional party that was maybe responsible for this. And what I believe in the tax deeds as well, or the tax history accounts. This also has numerous tax deed applications, certificates issued, and I don't believe the taxes have been paid for this year either.
Okay, anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll find this, this parcel in violation. No additional time to cure the violation, $100 a day fine for all the violations together, commencing on the date of my order, together with $120 in costs.
it's not too many.
Case number 2023-004, City of Newberry versus Brett Walton.
Yep. I am Wayne Clark, a code enforcement officer for the City of Newberry, Florida, and I have been sworn. My credentials are on file with the Special Magistrate Secretary. In Special Magistrate Case 2023-004, the respondent is Mr. Brett D. Walton. The photographs being presented in evidence accurately represent the violation as seen and were taken by myself on the dates indicated on each photograph. On the 26th day of April 2022, the City of Newberry Office of Code Enforcement observed unsafe buildings, structures, and hazardous lanes located at 52 Northwest 266th Street in Newberry, Florida 32669. This violation is an irreparable, irreversible violation, as unsafe structures, it's unfit for human habitation, is a serious threat to public health, safety, or welfare, and was condemned by the City of Newberry building official and myself. The property was inspected by myself and the City of Newberry building official, Scott Thomason, on the 26th day of April 2022, and was found to be in the corporate limits of the City of Newberry, Florida, in a violation of the City of Newberry Code, as listed on the violation notices that you have in front of you. Would you like me to read those out?
Not necessary, I have them here.
This property is owned residential single families, is RSF 2, and is approximately 1.09 acres in size. It is not homesteaded. The notice of violation was posted to the property and mailed certified mail to the owner as recorded in the tax collector's office or property appraiser's office and to any other additional responsible parties as the code allows. Legal service of the notice of violation was achieved on April 28th, 2022 and March 10th, 2022 for an amended notice of violation by posting the property and City of Newberry City Hall. And it was, the original notice of violation was accepted by USPS certified mail by Mr. Brett Walton on April 30th of 2022. In that notice, the violation, the respondents were originally given 30 days, which would have been May 27th, 2022, to correct the violation, and amended by the amended notice of violation issued on March 10th to give no additional time as the condition is irreparable, irreversible. As a result of my inspection today, March 22nd, 2023, I'm asking for a finding of guilty for the sections as listed, that they be given until April 30th, 2023 to comply, or a fine of $100 a day for all violations until compliance is achieved. So again, that's, I'm asking for until April 30th, 2023 to comply, or a fine of $100 per day for all the violations, and that I recover prosecution costs in the amount of $120. And in this case, Mr. Brett Walton, I've had no contact with him at all. However, I did receive a phone call and have had several phone calls. He's related to a realtor here in town, Mrs. Joy Glanzer. This property was originally owned by Joy Glanzer. I believe Mr. Walton is the nephew of Miss Glanzer, Mr. and Mrs. Glanzer. And so there have been some circumstances. I didn't put it in the packet. However, I do have it in my own personal record here. There was some legal proceedings going on between Mr. Walton and Wells Fargo Bank that was occurring between the time of the violation up until, let's see, an order granting motion for dismiss in the 8th Circuit of Courts against Mr. Brett Walton from Wells Fargo Bank as the plaintiff. That was recorded on November 9th, 2022. So that's part of the reason I didn't bring this case sooner is the possibility of Wells Fargo Bank taking over the property and then achieving compliance with the property violations. So once that case was dismissed, the property is still in the hands of Mr. Brett Walton. As of last week, I spoke to his aunt, Miss Joy Glanzer, who said that they are in the process of selling some other property, and the money is going to be used to demolish this. I have had a contractor come in last week and apply for a permit for the demolition and for the cleaning up of this property, which is why I'm asking for the additional time, because they are now pursuing compliance with this. And I had contact with Wells Fargo over the past almost a year now, as the case was being presented in the 8th Circuit Court. And just in contact with them, they asked for the copy of the violations, the pictures, all the stuff with that. So the pictures as seen here, a large tree fell on the house. I believe it was like an oak tree, it might have been a pine, but a very large tree fell on the house, damaging the structure, and then it caught on fire. And I believe a lot of the junk and debris was moved out of the house and just dumped all over the property. There was a part of it that damaged the front landing going into the mobile home. See the tree on top of the structure here. That's looking at the back of the structure where the tree fell over. Obviously significant damage. There's no way for this to be repaired. It has to be demolished. So various junk, tires, shopping carts, other trash and debris scattered across the property. Pictures of the postings of the condemnation and the notice of violations, along with the amended notice of violations and the notice of hearing. I was on March 10th when I posted the notice of hearing, and then that's the inside of the building from the fire damage. And as of today, March 22nd, the property is still in the same condition. All the junk and trash, debris, hazardous lands is still on the property. So they are, like I said before, they are pursuing compliance, and they stated that they should have the money, the closing of the property that's going to give them the ability to pay for achieving compliance should happen about the end of this month or the 1st of April. And so that's why I've asked for additional time to be given to them to follow through on the application for demolition.
All right, so I will find the owner in violation based on the condition of the property and based on the condemnation order that has been previously issued. Until April 30th for compliance, which is cleanup of the property, demolition of the structure, and cleanup of the property to occur. $100 a day fine thereafter, together with $120 of cost to be added. Just want to, this discussion you've just had has brought a couple of thoughts to my mind. This case is over. So when you mention the bank, it makes me think that in terms of the goal of all this process is to achieve compliance, that if there's some way when these things come, if there can be some investigation done as to whether there is a lender out there and what the address may be for that lender, so that we can just provide a copy of the order, and maybe that helps if the lender knows what's going on with the property.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, kind of along those same lines, are any of these properties that we're talking about here? With Mr. Jackson, I doubt it, but are any of these properties maybe listed for sale that we know of, or
Yes, sir.
no signs out in front of them or anything like that?
Yes, sir. There's never been a sign observed by myself on any of these properties.
So I'd like to do that same thing. If you're bringing a case and there's some evidence that it might be on the market, if we can figure out who that is and give notice to them too.
Yes, sir.
Sounds like you're doing it already with the bank, so.
Yes, sir. Yep. There's, in my code enforcement career, we have had properties that have been posted for sale. I've made contact with the real estate agents, stuff with that. and also made sure that they notified the new owners of those pending, as noted in
And,
chapter
you know,
162 as well.
Right, this stuff's recorded in the public records, but I would, especially like with the banks, I'd like to have that information so I can send my order to those people.
Yes, sir. Yep. Understood.
And kind of on a more general basis too, I've probably asked this question before, and this is really to you, Jeannie. What do we maintain as part of the hearing file? As part of the official hearing file when we go away from these hearings?
The records from the code?
Okay, so what I have in here is part of the file?
Correct.
What he presents on the screen is all part of the file, okay?
Correct.
All right. I think that's it, unless you have anything more.
Well, sir, that concludes all my cases for today.
Unless we have anything else from the attorney or remaining staff. That concludes this hearing.